Hello guys, hello people. Hello. Okay, let me start by copying the link. Hello people. Let me just copy the link then. I'll begin it now. Thank you so much to everybody joining in. Welcome. Compliments of the new season. I hope your 2022 is going as planned. Okay, so welcome to the first drive show, education drive show. I hope you're ready for this. Today we have a big guest in the house. We have Fikile. I'm not gonna go into depth with this. So yeah, let me just accept the invitation. Here we go. Yeah. The queen in the house, Fikile. Hey girl, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm really humbled.
Yo.
I'm looking forward to learning more from you. Thank you so much for coming. Okay, so before we go into anything, can you just introduce yourself, your name, and yes, some personal details about yourself?
Hello, everybody. My name is Fikile Cele, formerly known as Angel. A lot of people know me as Angel, and I'm here today to, together with my beautiful friend, to encourage each and every one of you. So I hope that you guys take the encouragement and inspiration, and yeah.
Thank you so much. I was really very inspired when I read your story, and I just saw you moving. You're just closing doors in the social media platform, and I think that really is very, for me, it was very inspirational. So for me
Mhm.
to avoid speaking things that I know that people don't know, can you just share briefly, take us through your story briefly? Yeah, and then some people can get to know what I'm really talking about.
Okay, so basically, I was abandoned when I was a baby. Um, I was cyberbullied when I entered Miss South Africa 2022, when I pronounced my name and surname differently, or not as a Black African woman should. And so, because of that, I came onto social media to explain exactly why I have been, or rather, why I spoke it or said it as such.
Oh,
And yeah, like the entire nation wanted to know about who is Fikile and what Fikile is about. So yeah, so that's me, and I'm here today. I've survived all of that, so I'm just here for the broken and the unwanted, and those who feel as if life is just too much. I give motivational speaking and just encourage each person to be a better version of themselves.
I'm really proud of you that really came from that far and you have now healed.
Hmm.
So looking at you now, the person that you are now and where you started, and looking at you now, you're now the ambassador of BSSA. You're now doing much. So how did you really find your goals and how did you really remove yourself from that and trying to figure yourself as a person, not really you're removing the surrounding and coming to be, no, I want to be me. I want to fulfill my
Hmm.
very own goals. I don't want people to define me because of my past, what I've been through, but I want people to define me because of what is in my heart. How did you really configure that to be to the
So basically, I had to. So the theme for Miss South Africa was own your power, take up your power and so on. So I had to become the best version of myself
Yeah.
before I got out there and encouraged others and
Mm.
stood on a national platform to be the Miss South Africa of South Africa. And so I have taken up the conscious decision to be a better person, and I've decided to let go, and I've decided to heal, and I've decided to take charge of the things that I no longer had. What's the word? Of the things that I no longer had control over.
Mm.
It took me a long time to get here, and it took me a while to understand that you have to let go. But yeah, and I tried it, and it worked, and I know it's gonna work for you too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. I really love the part that you say when you said you you decided to be the best version of yourself, to be the best
Mhm.
version of yourself. Like you literally said, no, I'm not gonna this. I'm not gonna let this destroy me. I'm gonna become the best version of yourself. Okay, so going through everything and stuff. Did you find a part when you were like, I wanna, this is too much for me. I wanna give up on life, or was it like you did you open doors for yourself, or it was just grace? How do you define your dream, Jane? Like,
Okay, so basically what you do, I think the first step in going towards a dream is locating and knowing what your dream is actually.
yeah,
You know, a lot of us want to be many things and we fancy many things. And sometimes like I've always fancied to be a lawyer and, or rather dream to be a lawyer. And now I know that it was a fancy of mine. It wasn't something that I
yeah,
wanted to do.
yeah,
So I think the first step is that you got to locate what you want to actually become. Do you
mm,
fancy being a police officer, or is it your passion to become a police
yeah,
officer?
yeah,
So that's the first step, to locate exactly what your dream is. And I think the second step is to relentlessly go after it. Some of us back away because of our circumstances and because of environmental, social, economical, financial reasons. We no longer be what we want to be,
yeah,
but you go for it, you go relentlessly. I promise you, I just went out and I only shared my story because I was cyberbullied, and it opened so many doors for me that I myself, I still get shocked up till this moment. Like when people are like, "Am I speaking to Fikile Cele?" And I'm like, "I think you are," because it's still, it gets
yeah,
to me, because that is why I say, when you have to make peace with who you are. You have to
yeah,
make peace with what you are in
mm,
this lifetime, because
yeah,
obviously we want to be things in our lives. We all want to be something, but
mm,
we have to make peace with where we are currently. It may not
exactly,
be that lawyer, it may not be that doctor, it may not be that police officer, or that
yeah,
engineer, or whatever it is, but wherever you are currently, you have to make peace with it. You gotta stay
mm,
there, because I believe that there's things in your life that happens for seasons, and there's a different season for a different thing. And
yeah,
hence, if you don't find your purpose in a certain season, you cannot go to the
yeah,
next. And sometimes we monotonously find ourselves going from season to season with the same thing, but then we fail to realize that we haven't really done what we ought to do in that specific season that we were in.
exactly,
So I think the second part is accepting who you are,
exactly,
accepting where you are. And then the third part to it is going after what you want. Like
exactly,
really, really going after what you want,
yeah,
despite
yeah,
what society have to say, or
yeah,
despite what
exactly,
your financial circumstances are
mm,
like. You
mm,
go after what you want. So
mm,
I think for me, I don't want to say that I've done anything on my own.
yeah,
Um, but I would say that God has always been with me through everything.
yeah,
And the last part, I know it was supposed to be the first part, but the last part is always, always put God first in every single thing you do. No
mm,
matter
mm,
what your belief system is, just always, always put God first. I believe that where I was headed and where I'm going is totally different. But I'm satisfied and I'm happy because I know
yeah,
that I'm not in
yeah,
charge. And when
mm,
you let go, again, I come back to letting go. When you let go and you release, amazing things happen.
mm,
In
mm,
order to find a goal, in order to find a fulfillment. I know a lot of people, a lot of coaches, life coaches, they say you write your goals down and you try to get closer to it and closer to it.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I find it very hard to go back to what I've written to try to practice it out, so
Yeah.
it becomes very difficult. It becomes absolutely difficult. But I guess when I think it's a mindset. It's
Mm.
not what you physically do or write or say, but it's a mindset. So
Yeah.
I think in order for us to be real fulfilled and really um, all we want to be is we got to do what our heart wants us to do. We
Yeah.
cannot just
Exactly.
be.
I
So
truly agree with whatever, every way that you say, especially starting from knowing what you want, knowing what you want. Because if you don't know what you want, you won't even know where to stay, where not to stay, the people, even the people to play with, and the people not to play with. And also, even the friends request to accept on Facebook and the friends best not to know. So sometimes it really is the first step to know really what you want to go for. Because if you don't know, if a person comes say, let's go to the east, you go to the east. If they say, let's go to the south, you go to the south. You're always dragged
yes, you'd
up
be
and down.
unstable.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
also, it's also essential that you get to be in network with the people that are going into your direction. So sometimes it's also good because if you want to fly, you obviously have to weigh down the things that are making you down so that you can fly. So I really, really resonate with whatever that you have said, and especially the part of knowing where you want to go. Because if you
Mhm.
know where you want to go, even when challenge is timed, you keep on going because you know you're on direction. Oh, there also comes another thing of your goals will not be fulfilled as you planned. Let's say maybe you
Mhm.
plan to go to university and you say maybe when you start out you would just say I want to be a doctor, but then after writing matric you didn't get those qualifications that I needed, those results that I needed to go to doctorate or something like that. So sometimes you get to see that our dreams doesn't go the way that we really plan it to be.
Mhm.
Then that is where the question comes. Let's say the dream that I really wanted to have didn't work. Can you go and do matric again and work hard so that your matric results will come as you want it to be? Or can you just find another second option and go do a nursing diploma and you're gonna catch it up? What do you think about that thing?
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
your
No,
take
I
on that?
think I think I know that the matric results just came out, and um, South Africa was not really sitting very well with regards to percentage and so on. I think what I have to say is that you go back and you try again. Like it's never too late. A lot of people say that it's never too late, and um, for for some people that I know that haven't completed matric,
Yeah.
it's late, already late. It's already late for them.
Uh,
But it's never ever too late. Go out there and go and try again. No one has ever failed by trying. No one has ever been a failure by
yeah.
trying, but they've always been a failure by not trying. So I say that if you have something that you want to do, I know that there's a lot of companies that give off bursaries, and there are a lot of people that do certain things that will enable you to move forward in life and to progress and to become a better person. And I suggest that you contact them and you just I believe that the facilities are always there, the
Yeah.
resources are always there. It's just a matter of us connecting to that certain thing
Exactly.
that is a problem.
Mm.
And I think that we should get together and like get all numbers that are giving bursaries and companies that are offering something for students or for individuals that can actually go out there and find their purpose. I believe that purpose makes, I've done a speech, and I said that purpose makes perfect. And when you know your purpose, you are perfect. And though you may be perfect, as in like perfect to Instagram and to TikTok and to Snapchat, but are you really perfect on the inside? Are you fulfilled on the inside?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I would say that when you know your purpose, you know that you're perfect. And when you know you're perfect, I mean, nobody can tell you anything.
Mm-hmm.
You just do what
Yeah,
you have to do.
like,
So that's important. That's really, really important.
yeah, this is especially the fact that you said about you have to figure yourself inside before it becomes outside.
Yes.
Because if it's the time
Yes.
when it comes outside, the outside is now coping with what is inside. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's been made already that is now coming inside.
Yes.
So that is also why you find out I have known some people who might do certain things because there's a motivation. Let's say they are being motivated. You have to do this. You have to do this. But there's a person who does their own things because they feel they should be like. So there's now a different, let's say, for example, there's maybe a parent who's forcing the child that I want you to become a doctor. But the child is saying, no, music is the thing that I feel is in me. So now the parent is striving because the parent wants to fulfill his or her own dreams through the child. But the child wants to fulfill his or her dreams. So now there comes that imbalance. But I would suggest that the child is not on his or her own, is now on the support of the child, on the support of the mother. So then how do we deal with that imbalance? Can you go and support your parents because you want to please them, or you can try to convince them to say, no, mom and dad, this is not for me. I'm into music career. Can you try to convince them, or you just say, okay, it's fine. I'll just go and do what my mother and my father is convincing me. What's your thoughts on that?
I'd say that when you want to do what other people want you to do, you would never find happiness. You will
Exactly.
never find joy. You will never find who you really are. So
Yeah.
basically, you will be living in a capsule of what another person's perception of you is.
Exactly.
And hence, you wouldn't be who you're supposed to be because you are doing what you don't want to do. And so
Exactly.
waking up every morning to go to that job or go to college or go to that institution or wherever it is, it's difficult for you because it's not what you want to do.
Yeah.
And so I'd say that I
Yeah.
think I would say that do what you want to do. At the end
Exactly.
of the day, as much as we love our parents and we love our siblings and those people who make a drastic impact in our lives, we
Mm.
love them and we adore them and we want them near us and all of that. But I'd say that it's you. It's you
Yeah.
and what you want and how do you see yourself? I
Yeah.
mean,
Exactly.
your mom might see you as a doctor and your dad might see you as an engineer, but
Okay.
how do you see yourself? You might see yourself as a designer. And
Oh yeah.
sometimes it's all about changing the narrative and doing what you love to do. Because at the end, if you're happy, no matter how hard it's going to be for your family to accept that you are not what they thought you would be, they would
Yeah.
see that you are happy and you are fulfilled in who you are currently doing, you
Mm.
know. So I think it's
And
important that you do what you want to do.
exactly.
Um, I believe that if God is for you, no one can be against you. So you go ahead and
Exactly.
you do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Have
Exactly.
a conversation with
With
whoever
yourself.
it is that has that impact with you and have a
Yeah.
conversation with yourself, yes,
Yeah.
with
Exactly.
regards to how am I going to do this and how am I going to
Exactly.
tell my parents or tell this specific individual that this is not who I want to be, you
Mm.
know. And it's important to deal with it because it's a very delicate matter. It's a very specific thing where you just can't go out there and say that, hey, mom, I don't want to be a doctor. I want to be an engineer. You know,
Yeah.
it's difficult to do that because now your mom has raised you for 23 years of your life and you are all this time she knew what was best for you. And
Mm.
now you come out there and you think you know what's best for you. So our
Yeah.
parents
Exactly.
and all those people are always gonna have that perception that no matter how big we are, they're always going to know what's best for us. But I think we've come into a generation that needs to know who they are first before what people think they are.
Mm.
And so I encourage each and every one of you to be happy in what you're currently doing.
Exactly.
I know that there was someone who was a doctor and left being a doctor into being a designer because that's what they wanted to be and that's what they wanted to become. So
Yeah.
I think it's important that you choose you,
Yeah.
and everybody else will follow, and the right people will gravitate towards you because
No,
you've
I couldn't
chosen
agree more than.
yourself.
Exactly.
You know? So
And I
it's
don't
very
think
important.
nothing, exactly. And I don't think not anything can beat a goal. Not even anything can beat a goal. If a goal is that
Yeah,
powerful, if it's that powerful, I tell you, Shem, you not even hear what the person is really trying to say. Because sometimes I really find if you see your dream is making you relax on it, it's not a dream. If it's a dream, it should give you that drive that you can't just sleep. You like, yo, it's my time to wake up now and do my thing and stuff. Because a dream is like something that is driving you, even though if you want, you don't want to wake up, but it's giving you that
it
drive.
is.
And you're like, no, I'm gonna do this. So also other
Mhm.
people in your surrounding who begin to see it and who begin to support the you. Yeah, I really, really agree with. Thank you for sharing that. I really, really resonate. Um, and also, I think one of the challenges that make people not to fulfill their goals. One thing that I've really seen is fear. Sometimes we fear. So I think it's going back to what you have said. I think there will be an imbalance between the dream and the direction. Like if you are sometimes if when you are afraid, it's because your dream is not really so valid to you. I think that's also the thing. Because
Yeah.
if there is fear, but fear, if you don't solve your fear, it becomes your limits. If you don't face
Yes.
your
Yes.
fears, it will limit you and it becomes your limitations. So I also think, yeah, if your dream is very valid to you, you will not be afraid. Because I have seen some other people, let's say you want to start a business, right? And they're gonna say, no, there was a person who had the resources, who had everything to start the business, but couldn't do. And be like, yo, I'm not gonna do it because somebody
Yes.
says this person had full resources, like 100% resources, but couldn't do it. How can you do it? How can you do it? Look at
Yeah.
yourself. How can you do it?
Yeah.
So yeah, so that thing is so questionable. So what do you also think? How can we face our fears? How can we, should we ignore the surrounding, and should we really be that strong enough and be that focused enough to know, like, I'm gonna push the door, I'm gonna go in.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Yes. Yes. I think in every aspect of your life, you got to locate.
Mm,
Location is very important. Locate your fear and locate what the fear is about. Because there could be a house, you could be afraid of living in one room in the house, but not be afraid of the entire house. So
exactly.
hence I say that many people are afraid to get into the house because of that one room that they're afraid of. And so they don't enter the door or the opportunity because of that one defect that they might find in their lives.
Mm,
So it brings me back to say that you got to locate what you are afraid of in order to face it, in order to come headstrong with it, because many people lose a lot of opportunities because they do not know the fear behind which they feel. So
exactly.
for example, like I've used a house as an example, and I'm using a house as an opportunity, and you
Exactly.
don't walk through the doors of that opportunity because there's one thing in that place there that you feel you can't deal with. You feel like maybe you can't handle stress properly, and hence you don't become a receptionist because there's a lot of stress behind it.
Exactly.
So you got to locate your fear and you got to deal with it. I say fear is the biggest stealer of dreams,
Exactly.
is the biggest robber of ambitions, of visions, of goals. It's fear. I believe that fear is not what we were made with. It's not in our DNA. It's not our makeup. It's not our build-up. It's all the
Yeah.
things that we have made in our head and we've
Mm,
created in our head to make us believe that we're going to experience that in that specific place.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I strongly believe that you got to locate your fear, And yes, you can do it. Yes, you can do it. You can do whatever you put your mind up to doing. You can be whoever you want to be. You can do whatever you want to do. All you got to do is just be positive and trust in yourself, trust in the process, because obviously Rome wasn't built in a day, and your life and your success is not going
Exactly.
to come overnight. But
Mm.
with persistence and with the right attitude, you can become who
Exactly.
you choose to be. I mean,
Mm.
like, there's a world full of opportunities. We're living in a century now that you can become anything.
Anyway, yeah.
Almost everything is legal, and you
Yeah.
can just do what you want to do. So do what makes you happy. Do what
Exactly.
makes you want to wake up in the morning and run to work. Do what makes you even forget to put on your pants in the morning to go to work because you just want to get to,
No, I'm gonna
you
tell
know.
you.
So do what makes you happy, because at the end of the day, it's about yourself. I mean, death is something that's inevitable, and we all are going to experience it. I've experienced it. And so our family members will pass away, and
Exactly.
God forbid, sometimes you will outlive them. And if you're going to do what they want you to do and they pass away, you're
And
doing
then,
something
yeah, it's
you
gonna,
never wanted to do.
yeah,
And so you're stuck in this profession because now people will think, oh, I've paid pension for all these years. I can't leave the job. Or, oh, I've been paying medical aid. And they give all these excuses to not leave. So I think fear and excuses are the things that people need to stop doing in order to be who they want to become. So
yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's my take on it. Yeah.
That's really what made this. Yo, thank you so much for sharing that. I'm truly
Welcome.
thankful. And let's say maybe now you've studied your dream. You're now living
Mhm.
according to your purpose. You find your purpose now. You are now, let's say maybe you wanted to be a doctor, you're now a doctor. There's that thing that we don't know when we don't know the things when that are going to be there, or the challenges that are going to be there before we start. But when we start, we're gonna know, yo, this course is difficult. Yo, this thing is it's not like what I expected it to be. But because it was a
Hmm.
dream, it it was just a dream. A dream is like we just
Yes.
say it. But when you are now doing it, then you find out, yo, this thing is really challenging. It's really, really challenging. And this is where you find some people maybe leaving their courses, diverting to another thing, you're going to
Hmm.
other places. But then my question
Yes.
comes, wherever you go, there's going to be another challenge. There's going to be something that you have not known that can challenge you. And sometimes also the dream is not, it's not easy. A dream is like, it's gonna be just said and be done. It has to be that difficult for it to be fulfilled. It's not just easy that you can just say, okay, I can just wake up and do it. There's a process for it, and there are also sometimes nights, sleepless nights. There are also stress that
Yes.
come with it, and some things that come with it. So we can really get the motivation to say, I'm gonna continue. Of course, it's difficult. It also comes with another financial difficulties. Also comes with you know. Let's say it's a degree for 4 years. 4 years, there are a lot of things that can happen. Maybe the person that was sponsoring you can die. You know, many
Yes.
things. What can really motivate you to say, no, this is small for me. I'm gonna just continue with it, even though I failed some of it. Okay, fine. Let me learn from my failures and grow from my
Hmm.
challenges. Let me continue
Yes.
with
Yes.
my journey. What can we say? People can be motivated to say, okay, even though I failed, but let me just keep on going,
Hmm.
keep on going. This is perfect.
I think what I'd say with regards to that is remember why you started.
Exactly,
You know, remember why you've started what you are currently doing. And
exactly.
if it doesn't make you happy, or it doesn't bring you joy, or
Yeah,
it doesn't fulfill you,
yeah.
then stop. Stop doing
Exactly.
it. Stop.
Stop doing it.
But in your remembrance, if it brings you happiness and if it brings you peace, and if in your remembrance it brings you this calmness, continue doing it and be relentless at it. Go and do it. I think that's the only motivation I have to give, is
Yeah.
that sometimes we would do things for the longest time and it's not something that we want to do. So
Yeah.
when we come to remember why we started doing what we are doing, and if it doesn't make us happy, then I suggest that you leave. But if you
Okay.
remember and go to the beginning, like when you're finishing school, like, okay, I'm in matric, what's my courses like? And if you had one course and you're doing a so totally different of the course, I would say that with all due respect, do what you're supposed to do. Do what you initially told yourself you were going to do when you came out of school, because back then you were young, and the joy in your heart and that
Exactly.
passion
That
that
influence.
drove you through to complete your matric would be the same passion that would cause you to qualify in the specific field that you wanted to be in. So I think it's important that you remember why you started,
Exactly.
and hence that will reveal all things.
I couldn't agree more on that. I couldn't. You really have to
Yeah.
know the reason. You really have to know the reason why you're doing certain things. Then it keeps you
Yes, yes.
going and going and going. Uh, and yeah, I think the thing that you have said earlier, like you have to know the purpose of why you're doing it. You have to know why you're doing it. Why is it important to you? Why are you really doing this? It really keeps on motivating. And I think sometimes as people, we have to fail in a positive way. Like you have to look at your failure and analyze it. What made me fail here? And you learn from it. The moment you learn from it,
Yes.
you learn that no, I don't have to do this. I have to correct it. So the first time, the next time that you're gonna do it, you're not gonna start from knowing. You're going to start from knowing what to do and what not to do.
Experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's
Mm-hmm.
important to learn from a failure. Because if you don't learn from a failure, you just be like, and sometimes we tend to blame ourselves. I didn't do this, and we blame also on others. They didn't push me and stuff and stuff and stuff. And it's not really wanting to sit down with your failure. Okay, what really happened
Mm-hmm.
there, and how can I correct this? How can I move on with this? Because as we go, I think challenges are always everywhere. And if we keep on
Mm.
looking at things and like, no, I have faced challenge,
Yes.
I'm gonna leave this. When you're going then where can you go that you cannot find any challenge? Where? Because it's everywhere. But
That's true.
it's yeah,
That's
it's
true.
that purpose why you study that keeps on going and going and going.
Hmm.
So in
So I'd
conclusion,
say that never,
yeah, you
yes.
can go on. You can go on.
No, no, I'm sorry about that. I was saying that never blame yourself for something that you never had the control over.
Yeah, exactly.
Never be hard on yourself on
Exactly.
situations that you cannot control. And so
Exactly.
it's important when dealing with goals and visions and who you want to become in the future, or it all starts about now, but don't be um, upset about where you are, and don't
Exactly.
blame yourself for situations and the things that you face that you have no control over. I'd say
Mm,
rather, I always say that you let go and let God. And when you let go and let God, God always does for you what you can't do for
exactly.
yourself.
Mm,
So it's really important for you to never, I can't stress on it enough, to never blame yourself for something that you do not have control over.
exactly. I couldn't agree with that. I couldn't. And also that comes also that part of some people may say, I have dreams, but I don't have the resources to begin. I have dreams, but I don't know where to begin. Girl, just
Yes.
begin. Just begin from wherever. Because what I find out is people who believe in you will always meet you. Like
Yes.
if so, it's not like it doesn't have to have a direction. A goal sometimes it doesn't have, you don't have to see the whole staircase and like, okay, I'm gonna go this. Just have to see the first step and take that
Yes.
opportunity, the first one, and do with it wholeheartedly with your whole potential. And I promise you,
Yes.
the people that will believe in you, you find them, who will locate you, and the dream will go
Yes.
on and on and on and on.
Yes.
And so I really think you just have to begin the first step. Just do it. Just do it. But it's
Just do
not,
it.
yeah, it's not really that easy to just begin when you know, I don't even have any money. How can I just begin if I don't have
Yes.
any resources? It's really, I think it's really easier to be said than to be done.
Mm, mm,
Mm.
mm. So I
So,
think for that part, you just got to trust the process,
mm.
trust the process that it will work out. And as you said, the right people will locate you. So I'd say for that part, you trust the process.
It just begin because I have seen some, for example, some who sell some. What's the biggest company in here that sells egg? For example, Ivan's, right? Let's take
Mm,
this maybe take consider Ivan's. It is what it is now because it just started. Oh, let me not say that. Let me just say maybe they we don't really know their history, but it might be they started selling a crate, one crate of egg. They might even had three customers, but they just bloom in it. They grow from it. So sometimes we don't have to have big connections or to have big resources. Sometimes also the motivation is very important than the resources because sometimes you find out some parents may just give their children money like I'm gonna give you 1 million now to start the business, but the children doesn't want to do that. It might not even work well than
mm.
you who did it even begin with nothing, but worked hard to the extent that God can even see what is in your heart, and God is that
Yes.
really faithful that you fulfill it because obviously we are here for a purpose. We can't just bloom from the earth to grow. Obviously, we have
Yes.
that
Yes.
that purpose. So I think God, it's not like I think I know God is that faithful that you fulfill His promises. Okay, so in conclusion of our show, what really is the advice that you can give to those people that I really mentioned, the people that don't have even the purpose yet, that don't even have the reason to wake up, that doesn't even find their whys in life. Why am I here?
Hmm.
Why am I doing this? Why, you know? And that thing for me, I think it's really is terrible because sometimes you find out people who commit suicide because they don't know their lives, who indulge into drugs,
Yes.
who do more things. So, what can you say to those people that they haven't found their purpose, and also how can you help them to find what they want? Because
Hmm.
it really is very hard to support a person who doesn't know what they want because you don't know what to
Yeah.
really to
Yeah.
support.
It
Yeah.
is. It is. It is. It can become a very draining thing. But I think I would say that you are here for a reason.
Yes.
Everyone's here for a reason. You were born for a reason. You were created for a reason. You were not a mistake. You are not the result of your parents' decision. You're supposed to be here at this time, at this place, in this century, not in like the 1900s, but in the 2000s to experience
Exactly.
the advantages of 2000s. But I'd say on a serious note that you are not a mistake. And
Exactly.
for many people, they feel like they weren't even supposed to be born. And so hence they don't even worry about what they become or who they become, or they don't even believe in the goal and the fulfillment. And many people don't even, I think for many people,
Mm.
this topic that we're having is like whatever.
Yeah.
Because
Shame.
there are things, but there are things in their lives, and there's circumstances in their lives, and there are places where they have reached that it's difficult for them to come to terms with that. How can you tell me that I'm supposed to be here? Do
Mm.
you know half of the things that I've been through? How
Yeah,
do I
imagine.
be that person that you've told me I am supposed to be?
Imagine.
I don't have the resources, I don't have the finances, I don't have anything. But you
Mm.
telling me that there's a goal that I should do. You're telling me that I'm supposed to be fulfilled, but I don't
Mm.
feel fulfillment, you
Yeah.
know. So there are those people that are out there, and for those people, I think that's why we're here. You know, we're here for those people who don't know
Yeah.
what they're supposed to do. And obviously, we're not here to tell you what you're supposed to do, because it is your decision as an individual to understand that, look, I like artistry, so I like nature, I like
Mm.
this, I like that. So let's see, maybe I'll become an artist, you know.
Mm. Mm.
I say dabble in the little things in your life, do different things, and see what sparks your interest the most.
Yeah, literally.
You know,
Yeah.
because sometimes we don't have that opportunity to be that person, or we don't have that opportunity to do that certain thing that we want to always do.
Mm.
So do everything. Do
Mm.
everything, because if you don't like it, it would be an adventure. It would be an experience. So it's not something that would go
Exactly.
in vain, you
Mm.
know. But if you do like it would be you one step closer into finding your purpose,
Mm.
finding your ambition, or that thing that makes you thrive to wake up. And
Exactly.
yes, with regards to many people who feel like they're not supposed to be here, even I was not supposed to be here. You know,
Mm.
I was abandoned, and many people didn't want me. I was really sick, and I was just a topic to be reckoned with, you
Yeah.
know. But at the end, I see that I was always supposed to be here. I
Exactly.
was supposed to be abandoned. I
Exactly.
was supposed to not have a functioning stomach. I was
Exactly.
supposed to be all of that in order to be where I am. So,
Mm.
yes, all the negative things that happen in our lives is important.
It's
It's
very
very
good.
important
It's
for us
very
to
good.
be where we're supposed to be. And sometimes
Exactly.
it monotonously happens. Yes, every day you go through these things, every day it happens, but it's who you decide to be. It's who you decide that you want to become. It's about yourself, you know. Do you want to be in the exact same position you are in 5 years from now? You know, I mean, public transport is going to be available to everyone, and I take public
Exactly.
transport, but
Yeah.
do we always want to take public transport? Or do we
Exactly.
want to own a vehicle?
Mm.
You know,
Mm.
do we want to be the pioneers of our own lives, or do we want to be sitting in somebody else's car and letting somebody else tell us that they're going right, so we have to go right?
Mm.
You know,
Exactly.
I think
Yeah.
it's about, first it begins with you and what you decide to do. And if you
Exactly.
don't know it, then it's all good and well. Go through the adventure, go through it and find out what you want to become. And if
Mm.
it's not what you want to become, as I said, it will be an adventure. If it's something you want to become, as I said, it will be something that will be one step further to what you always want to
Exactly.
become. So, yes, it's
Mm.
about yourself. And
Mm.
sometimes in life, we have to be selfish. We can't always think about the next person and think about our sibling or think about our parents. We can't always be thinking about other people, because if I tell you now, sit back and think about who's thinking about you.
Mm.
That
Exactly.
will answer your question about what you're going to do, where you're going to go, you know. So yes, as much as we can think about others, but at the same point, how do we help others if we ourselves are helpless?
Mm. Exactly.
So it all begins with yourself in order to fulfill your dreams, fulfill your goals, fulfill yourself, fulfill a life. You know, it's not about gymming and having all these fancy products and feeling energized. Yes, you'll feel energized for the day, but what happens for your lifetime?
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
so
Just for
it's
the next time.
important to,
Mm.
yeah, it's always for the day, or it's for the month, or you might have a dieting scheme for a week, but it's not something that's going to be for your entire life. So leave a legacy that your children could inherit, that
Exactly.
you
Exactly.
could you could wake up one morning and you don't even have to go to work, because the whole entire world knows you, and you could just make a phone call and you have like all these 1,000 rands in your account, even millions. Be that person. Be that person who doesn't need to be introduced, because the people already know you. You know, strive to be that person. And it's not always in the business field where you got to be that person where, like, you know, always people say it's business time, I got to go in business. Oh, I'm in Forex, nobody know me. You know, or I'm in Forex, the people know me, so I don't have to be introduced. It's not always about business. It's not
Yeah.
always about money. It's about you being authentically yourself.
Yeah.
And so people can walk past you and be like, hey, I know you. And you're like, how do you know me, but I don't know you? It's because you are authentic. You
Yeah,
know, be authentic and don't apologize for your authenticity. Never
exactly.
apologize for it. Because in all, wherever you are currently in your life, you are enough. You
Mm,
are enough. And you will always be enough in every situation that you find yourself in. You will forever be enough. But it always requires you to make a conscious decision of, am I going to continuously be in this situation or am I going to move on from it? So
exactly, exactly.
that's
Be
I
absolutely,
think that's what I would believe.
be authentically yourself.
Yes,
Right?
yes,
You.
it's
I couldn't
important.
agree more on this. This is so powerful. This is so powerful. Okay, okay. I can't even add more to that because I truly, truly resonate. Because
Yeah.
sometimes and you have, I also believe with the quote that says everybody has a talent, everybody has that goal, everybody has that purpose because it's in here. Because God can't just create you just to be,
Yes,
to have a miserable life, to go in the streets. There is something that is
yes.
inside you. Yeah, it's your homework to find that. You don't have,
Hmm.
don't sleep until you find whatever that should make you wake up. So,
Yes.
this is really, really important. And sometimes you have to find that thing that you can do tirelessly without being forced to say, there are those things that we can just say, I really, if I do this, I don't find it hard to do that thing. And if I
Yes.
do it, I
Yes.
can even spend the whole day doing it. So that thing, that small thing that you can do tirelessly without being
Hmm.
pushed, without putting lots of effort, is that thing. Is that thing that you just have to know it. When you know it, you make it grow, you make it grow. It might be even a talent
Yes.
of singing. You make it grow. You also have to be in network with that thing, that with those people that you find that are in link with your talents, in link with that goal, and then you connect, and then you just do it. So it's those little things. It begins those little things, and also sometimes, what do people come to you for? Is that when there's those things that people really come to us frequently for. Like, Fikile, can you help me with this? Thank you so much. I was
Hmm.
help. Fikile, can you do this? Because they know that you are the guru in that thing. You are the person in
Yes.
that field. So you also have to sit down and say, okay, why do people always come here? Why do always people come to me for that thing? Why do they always? And the feedback that also they give is also make you go like, okay, let me go into this. So sometimes it's even asking the people that are in your network, okay, how do you really see me? How do you really see me? What do you think? What do you think is it that I'm good of? That I'm good at, that I can do. So it's those things
Yeah.
that if we find time with it, obviously we'll find it. We'll find it. Thank you so much. So can you just share your last word with us today? Because we want you to be here forever. Like the time on earth, I don't know, we really want you to be here forever because this discussion, my God, we can open another field of the story and it go on and go on. But this I have already grown with this. I don't want to become
Yeah.
this big. So what would be your last words that you want to tell the people? And then yeah.
I think it would be nice if you would allow it to have people ask questions if you
Yeah.
would allow it. Any
Okay.
question that you have to ask, you can ask it, and we would try our best to answer it. So if there's anything that you would like to ask, then um, take the opportunity, I guess.
Okay. So I see there is Tafadzwa, there is Fadzi, there's Natasha. Do you guys have questions on the goal and the topic? Goal and the dream questions. Topic, sorry. So if you have any questions, you can type in the comment section and Fikle is here
Hmm.
to answer you. Tafadzwa, Fadzi, and other people. If you have questions, obviously pop them. But if they don't, obviously, I'm just gonna send them to you if they do have anything, answer them.
No problem.
And
No problem. That's perfectly fine.
And also the person that we joined, Timunimani. Okay. Do you have any questions on Go and Dream topic? If you have
I think
time.
while we're waiting, I think while we're waiting for the questions, if it's coming through, um, I just want to add in that in the quest to find your dreams or your goals, in the quest to find it, if you do not already know it, it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be really, really difficult. And it sounds really easy, but it's not going to be easy. But I think you got to allow yourself to go through that process in
Exactly.
order to be that person who you want to become, you know. So
Exactly.
allow yourself to go through the certain things that you have to go through in order to be who you want to be.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you so much for sharing that. People that are in the room and other people who are going to watch this live, if you have anything to add on, any questions, you can leave it down under this video, and the both of us are going to answer your questions. Please feel free to contact us, because we want you to live in according to your purpose. We want you to live to become the very best version of yourself, as Fikile said. So
Mm-hmm.
please, 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 it's our job to make sure that this life becomes fruitful to you, and you do what you came here to do. So let's just leave that room in the comment section, and then obviously I will tell you if there is question, then you can surely answer them. But thank you so much. How can I really thank you, Fikile? I think my mouth cannot speak more than what you have made
Oh,
us.
man. Thank you.
It's also another
Thank you
feedback that
so
I'm
much
good.
for
I'm
that.
giving you to make sure that you continue this goal of yours. Please
Mm-hmm.
continue it. The world really need to hear more of this, more of this. Go and make it happen.
Thank you.
So
Thank
thank
you.
you so much. I really want to hear you more and more and more.
You
But yeah.
will. You will. You will.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm gonna end the live show now. Is it okay with you now?
Okay.
Thank you, Fikile. Bye.
Bye.